The bedrock of success is planning and getting focused on the implementation to the letter all the outlined plans. It has become a tradition for the management and staff of Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, or the IRS, to gather at the beginning of every year for what they call strategic sessions. During the days of the program, everyone takes a cursory look at the performances of the past. They internalize the projections and aspirations of the state government as contained in the New Year budget. Above all, they draw up strategic plans that will help them at surpassing past achievements in the new year. You are welcome to pay your tax. My name is Tayelolu Oladisi. On this edition of the program, our talking point is ODIRS, Capacity and Strength, Training and Statewide Coverage of Tax. A woman of outstanding capacity is my guest. You will meet her very shortly. To stay with us.
My name is Tolu Adegbe, Executive Chairman, Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. I want to thank the good people of Ondo State for paying your tax, and I want to encourage those who are not paying to pay their taxes. Schools are being renovated, new ones are being built, we have new hospitals being built, we have plans to do even more infrastructure, we have industries coming into the states, and then of course we have the roads that we can all see. These taxes are being used for things that will benefit the people of Ondo State. I want to thank you all, and I can assure you that in Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, we continue to make the tax payment process very easy, very convenient, and very smooth for everyone. Thank you for paying your tax. God bless us all.
On Pay Your Tax today, my guest is the Assistant Director, Human Resources, Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. I welcome Mrs. Jemilat Yusuf to Pay Your Tax. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Tai.
Thank you. I'm fine, thank you. I'm very well indeed. Thank you. All right. We agreed in our intro with the popular saying that he who fails to plan is planning to fail. Yeah. Do you agree?
Absolutely, Tai. Okay. I do. Because I'm of the opinion, or should I say it is a popular opinion, that planning motivates commitment from staff. Most people are not motivated when they do not have goals, when they do not have when they do not know what is expected of them to do. They seem to lose focus and they seem not committed to the job. Planning is very critical and it is very, very vital to the success of any organization.
So how much of planning do you do in ODIRS?
A lot, I must say.
Okay, let's start from.
Okay. To start with, every year, it's been our culture, it's been our tradition in ODIRS to hold our annual strategy session. Now, when I mean annual strategy session, it is a session that comes up within the first 2 weeks of the new year.
Okay.
Yes. And the essence of this session is to engage all our critical stakeholders. Initially, we usually engage probably the top management staff, but in the last 2 years we decided to extend it, so our strategy sessions are quite extensive and robust. It cuts across all levels of management, starting from the top management to the middle management, even to our lower cadre officers. We make sure that all these people come together, we set our goals in terms of what are our plans for the year, and then we chart paths, we map up strategies that we're going to use to follow, to achieve exactly that goal. Because the planning session, the strategy session, is basically to determine what do we want to do and how exactly are we going to do it. So when we call our stakeholders, we involve basically our heads of department, our taxation managers across all our stations, our team leads, our HODs, a very large number of staff, not all, of course. And then you'll be called
from the 18 local governments.
From the various local governments, yes, exactly, not just Akure. From all, that's why I said across all our tax stations. Okay. So they will all come. you must have by then would already let them know, would unveil our targets for that year. That okay, fine. For this year 2022, this is our target for the year. And then you as a head of a particular department, or you as the head of a particular tax station in a local government, whether in Akure or outside Akure, will let us know how you intend to achieve this target. How do you want to go about it? What are the strategies you want to put in place? Because it's not going to be business as usual. Most of the time, these targets, these revenue targets, they grow. What you have done last year is different from what you're going to do this year.
Okay.
So you're not going to stay on the fact that, okay, whatever I did last year, all I just need to do is go and repeat it. No, you have to improve, because there's now an increment in whatever target has been set for you. So as a staff, you need to sit down, you need to communicate to the management that, okay, this is what we want to do, and this is how we want to go about it. Now, at that point, we take a lot of input from other people, both top management, both middle management. We all come together. It's all embracing, okay? We all come together and agree that, okay, this is the strategy we want to adopt.
For the year.
Yes.
So can you categorically say the input across cadres are taken into your annual work plan to make it all embracing?
All embracing, absolutely. Tai. It's something that we realized for you to achieve a goal, or for you to achieve a set target, you must involve every stakeholder, whether critical or non-critical. So even, you know, we can't empty the whole station because we want to have a strategy session. However, all the team leads, the heads, and all middle managements that are available, they go back to their various stations or their departments to hold a departmental meeting, of which minutes will be sent to us for review, just to ensure that it is held, so that no staff will claim they are not aware of the annual strategy for that year.
Okay. So usually there are always backup instruments to ensure that projections or targets are met. May we know if your annual plans have such instruments?
Thank you very much for that question, Tai. You know, strategy session comes in three stages, okay? Okay. First, you determine what your goal is. All right? What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? The next step is, how do you achieve it? Okay. All right? Now, the third step is, how do you equip your staff to achieve what you have told them to go and achieve? You know, so the whole thing has to be all encompassing. You can't leave one of it. So the main instrument ODRS use is capacity development. All right? If you have said, this is your revenue target, and we have said, apply this strategy to execute the target, we must also equip you properly to achieve the target. It has to be all encompassing. So training is our strength in ODRS. Is the major tool amongst other tools, of course, which I'm still going to mention. But for now, I would like to lay emphasis on our training, staff development. Now, basically, when you train staff, there are various advantages to it. It enables them to acquire new skills. It enables them to sharpen existing skills as well. So for a staff, for instance, who already has the knowledge on what to do, and you have engaged the staff by training them and giving them the additional capacity required to achieve these targets, all you can achieve is efficiency and productivity, increase in productivity. Let me give you specific examples. When we recruited our staff, that was 2 years ago, most of them came in as fresh graduates. A few with experience, some of them do not have experiences. Exactly, yes. So at that point, we had to consider the fact that these are people who are going to be engaging the tax-paying public with different kind of exposures and levels of education. So you needed to prepare them for that public engagement.
For the task.
Exactly. They need to know how to represent the organization. They need to know how to even, you know, speak positively, how to engage the taxpayer in a manner, an approach that will make them get what they need to get from that taxpayer. So we ran what we call soft skills training, which has to do with a lot of how you can be professional, you know, how you can maintain a corporate demeanor out there, how you can have a beautiful carriage, and all of these things, so that when they go out and engage the public, they will get positive response from the public. In addition to that, we also had the technical part. You agree with me that knowledge is power?
Definitely.
Okay, so our staff cannot go out there without being empowered with what they need to work. So we also made sure that the technical knowledge, the technical know-how, as it relates to core tax, was actually imparted before the. And then after that, we decided to do a survey. That's after we ran all of that. That's all, after both the soft skills and the technical skills. Then we ran a survey to, request for various training needs. This time around what we did was, okay, fine. You have gone through a soft skills training. You have gone through a technical skills training. What are those extra training needs that you feel you have that the organization can look into and see how we can come in? You understand? So that also exposed some other things that probably we're not aware of. And then we made sure that every staff who has shown interest in one particular type of training or the other were grouped together and they were trained on it. Now we also have a big hall here in Odirs, in our complex, where we run our trainings. We run trainings almost every other week.
Every week?
Every week.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. At every point in time, because it's going to be in batches, we have to ensure that every staff is trained, and our staff capacity is
cut across all the staff.
Absolutely, everywhere. All cadres, both within Akure, outside Akure, even our liaison officers in Abuja and Lagos, they come all the way down to be trained. And we also send some out of Ondo State for trainings in Lagos, in Abuja, especially with professional bodies like the CITN, maybe for conferences, for trainings, the CIPM, the ICANN, we send staff for trainings, for conferences, to attend those conferences, because we believe that is the only way we can achieve productivity. When people are trained, they become efficient. Definitely. And when they become efficient, you are going to definitely experience increase in productivity.
We'd like to go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll continue with the program. Please stay with us.
Hooray! Payment of taxes and rates is now made easier and simpler in Ondo State through the Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. One-stop shop model tax stations in 2 different locations in Akure State Capital. Visit Oyemekun Tax Station within the premises of Wema Bank PLC on Oyemekun Road, Akure, or visit Alagbaka Tax Station within the premises of UBA PLC, Alagbaka, Akure, to pay your taxes and rates into Ondo State designated revenue accounts without any stress. For further inquiries, call the following number: 0188397000 or 09284-77004, or send WhatsApp messages to this number 08104864804. Contact us at odirs.ng or info@odirs.ng. Also, chairman at odirs.ng. Our website is www.odirs.ng. Pay your tax, as tax brings development. Ondo State Internal Revenue Service announcer.
Glad to have you back, and still on to Pay Your Tax. Our guest today is Mrs. Jemilat Yusuf. She is the Assistant Director, Human Resources, Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, and today our topic is ODIRS, Capacity and Strength, Training and Statewide Coverage of Tax. Mrs. Yusuf, let's talk about the scaling up the capacity of your staff year-round. It requires a huge strategic plan. Yeah. How do you ensure that your primary assignment of revenue collection is not hampered while staff is on training?
Okay, all right. What we do is, like I told you, we make our training schedules at the beginning of the year. Okay. So our planning it's not just limited to the strategy session. Even outside that, all other things, we make sure we make plans for them at the early part of the year. Okay. So we draw up a schedule at the beginning part of the early part of the year. We draw up a schedule to ensure that in a department, for instance, where we have 4 people, 2 people or maybe 1 will come for the training while the others stay to cover up. This is to ensure that there's continuity, work is not affected. In a taxation, for instance, where we have 15, 16 staff, we can just take 4. for the first batch, and then we run a second batch, and then we run a third batch. That also explains why we keep having trainings week by week, because every staff wants to make sure that at least they have their trainings. At least a staff should have 2 trainings in a year. That is the minimum. Some actually have more than that in a year. So we're able to achieve that. We don't have any challenges with that at all. It doesn't affect work. Our training doesn't affect work. We make sure we schedule it, and we do that early part, so people already know how and what batch they belong to for the training, without anyone feeling left out. Yes.
So let's now discuss the vision and mission in Odirs in context of setting your annual agenda.
Okay. The Odirs vision is to generate optimal revenue in an efficient and professional manner for the development of Ondo State. And that takes us to what I said during the strategy session, when we make our annual plan. The whole idea is to make our staff efficient. Okay. The whole idea is to make them behave professionally out there. And I must tell you that is why most of the trainings we have given to them, when they go out there and engage the tax-paying public, most times they get positive approach, because they themselves have been trained to exhibit positive attitudes towards our taxpayers. Our main mission in Odirs is to change the tax narratives in a positive manner, in line with our core values. So you can see both the mission and the vision has a lot to do with changing the narratives and being positive about our approach. Okay, our core values are majorly transparency. We have the acronym TRIP for it. Yes, that's TRIP. That is transparency, responsiveness, integrity, and professionalism. So us, integrity and professionalism is everything. You would agree with me that for the tax-paying public to trust you as an organization and be encouraged to pay their taxes, then you must be transparent in all your ways and all your dealings. All of these things we have imbibed when we're having our annual strategy sessions. These are things we discuss, we agree as part of the strategies we are going to apply to make sure that we're able to gather more people to comply with tax payments. Basically.
So we have observed that your annual strategy session is usually held after the enactment into law, the budget for the year, for the new year. Why is this so?
Okay, Tay, you would agree with me that the annual budget represents the desires and aspirations of the state government, right? Okay, so when the budget is set, all right, I mean before the new year now, that is what we're going to use as the basis for our own strategy session. It's a goal setting strategy, it's a goal setting session. How do we set a goal when we don't even know what our revenue targets are? Exactly. So when the budget has already been set, we already know what the government's aspiration and desires are. It becomes our responsibility as an organization to now sit down and say, okay, fine, how do we achieve the government's desires and aspirations? And that is why we hold it after we already have our budget figures, we already have our revenue targets for that year, and then we know this is what the government expects from us. How do we achieve this and give it to them?
All right, so you have said this repeatedly on this program, that the underlying strength of your capacity in Odirs is the fact that you cover on those states like no other one. Can you shed more light on this?
Okay. Tell you see, we have a very fantastic branch network.
Okay.
Yes. What I mean by fantastic branch network is we have presence in every local government of the state.
Presence.
Okay. Physical presence. Yes, we have our offices well staffed. In fact, every branch of Odirs in every of these local governments have a staff representing every department in Odirs. What do I mean by that? You see, most of the activities that happen in head office here, it's just like we have a mini head office in every local government. So for instance now, whether it is land use charge, or it is direct, it is a personal income tax, or it is stamp duty, whatever part of the tax, we have a staff who is going to be able to attend to you in these local governments. which I believe I'm sure even the local government presence in every of these local government office in every of these tax local governments may not even have this stronghold, because we are not only just there is efficiency. You can walk into our taxation in each local government and actually transact your business with Odirs without having to come to the head office or even do it. Yes. And all the staff in these stations also have access to what we call internet. They have computers where even when you make payments and transactions, they can issue your e-receipts to you without you having to come to the head office. So we are able to make sure that accessibility to Odirs is easy for every taxpayer
to pay.
Yes.
All right. Odirs capacity and strength training and statewide coverage of tax is our topic on Pay Your Tax today. And my guest has been Mrs. Jemilat Yusuf, Assistant Director, Human Resources on Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. We'd like to go on another break now, and when we return, we continue with the program. Kindly stay with us.
Finally, a big relief is here for taxpayers in Ondo State. Without an express payment of all taxes, charges, fees, and fines are now made easier through the banks approved by the Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. Access Bank, First Bank, Polaris Bank, Union Bank, UBA, Wema Bank, Unity Bank, and Zenith Bank. Others are Stanbic IBTC, Kickstone, Guaranteed Trust Bank, Fidelity Bank, FCMB, EcoBank, and Sterling Bank. Pay to the banks directly. Don't give your cash to anyone. For further inquiries, call the following number: 0188397000 or 09284770004, or send WhatsApp messages to this number 08104864804. Contact us at odirs.ng or info@odirs.ng. Also, chairman at odirs.ng. Our website is www.odirs.ng. Pay your tax, as tax brings development. Ondo State Internal Revenue Service announcer.
We're glad to have you back on Pay Your Tax, and my guest is still Mrs. Jemilat Yusuf, Assistant Director, Human Resources on Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. And today our topic is Odirs capacity and strength training and statewide coverage of tax. Glad to have you back, Mrs. Yusuf.
Thank you, Tayo.
May we know the resultant effect of your strength and capacity on your outputs?
Oh, wow, that is evidence everywhere, Tayo.
Okay.
Yes, that is evidence
Shed more
everywhere.
light on it.
I would explain. You see, when you plan, you apply your strategies and you follow it through, you will be successful. We were given targets, we sat down, we strategized, we came up with a plan, we follow it through, and we achieved success. What we do most of the time is, you see, when we set these plans, do you understand? When we set the plans, we don't just leave it there, we don't dump it there, no. We have what we call monthly monthly MPR. Yes, okay. We call it monthly performance review. We hold those monthly performance review with stakeholders to know that, or to confirm that, okay, where are we going to?
Okay.
Do you understand? So if I've run for 3-4 months and we know that we are supposed to have achieved, we want to do 100 billion, and we know at month 4 we are supposed to have done 40 billion, are we there? Okay, we are there. Beautiful. That means our strategy is working. Are we having any challenges? Oh yes, we have little challenges here and there. We adjust, we make plans, we change. And honestly, this has worked and has brought about improving revenue. I would like to let you know that in 2019, the target that was set for Odirs was 29 billion. Yes.
That was in 2019.
That was in 2019, yes. Okay. It was 29 billion, and we made 30.1 billion. We didn't only meet the target, we actually superseded it. That is actually very, very brilliant. And then in 2020, you know, it was a COVID year. Yes, the target that was set was 24 billion, but we made 24.8 billion. This is results of planning and strategies. You would agree with me. And then in 2021, it was scaled up from 24 billion to 28 billion. and we still achieve 30 billion.
Wow.
So you would agree with me that these things are working.
The
planning is working, especially when you keep a track. For me, I think if you plan, you don't just drop it there. You must also keep track of whatever it is you have planned. So we have monthly performance reports, meetings. We have quarterly. We have half year. So at every point, you must come and let us know what you're doing and how far you have gone. We are also going to check to know, okay, how we have to reassess ourselves and be sure that we're on the right track. There are a few times that we'll have to change strategies. A very few times, not much. Maybe we realize, okay, this strategy that we set at the beginning of the year, maybe by the time we get to half year, mid-year, we realize it's not really working. What is the problem? Okay, this is the challenge. What can we do? We re-strategize, and then we move on.
And finally, can you assure the tax paying public on the integrity of your staff?
Say Odirs staff.
Yes.
In fact, our tolerance level for any form of how do I explain now, corruption is zero.
Wow.
Absolutely. And we've in most ways we have communicated to the staff, and they are very much aware of it. Now, to buttress that point, we have we created what we call a contact center for feedback. So what the contact center does is, people have access to the number, people have access to the email. So most of the time when we get reports from the tax-paying public, they call in and let us know that social tax station, they went there and this is what happened and all of that. When we get reports like that, we don't throw it under the carpet. We see it to the end. And whoever it is who is found wanting, we make sure that we apply the appropriate disciplinary sanctions. So by the time people hear and know that, okay, one staff was sanctioned for this or for that, they tend to sit up and make sure that. So integrity, 100%.
Dear viewer, that's all we have for you on Pay Your Tax this week. On your behalf, I appreciate the Assistant Director of Human Resources, Ondo State Internal Revenue Service, Mrs. Jemilat Yusuf. Thank you so much. Thank you for being part of this program.
Thank you. I'm
today,
glad to be here.
And we hope next time when your phone is being called upon that you are to be on the program, you will definitely be here.
All the time.
We appreciate your coming today.
Thank you.
Next week we will be here again by His Grace with another personality. And so stay with us, same time, same station. My name is Tayelu Oladusi, and on behalf of the executive producer, Tolu Adegbiye, we say thank you for being with us today. God bless you. God bless all the IRS. God bless Ondo State, and God bless Nigeria. It pays when you pay your tax.